Hey everybody, how y'all doing? It's Patrick, and today on Geek, I'm going to show you how to upload your designs to CafePress using the My Design section. Okay, so I'm logged into my CafePress account and I'm at my dashboard. And to get to the My Designs section, you simply mouse over your name up here at the top bar and click on My Designs. And now you'll see I've already got some things uploaded here. These first two are from creating my profile picture, the file that I uploaded from my profile picture, and then the cropped version that CafePress creates. And then I uploaded one design a while back just to get started. So in the My Designs section, there's a lot of things you can do. You can sort your designs by most recent uploads, by the number of sales they've gotten, or by the design name or file name alphabetically. You can sort for things that are only on certain types of products. You can sort for how long ago they were uploaded, whether they're already placed on a product or not, whether they're listed in the marketplace, that kind of thing. And then you can do by shops, and we'll talk about shops in another video. You can also turn on the show file name and turn that off. You can see here I've got this one has a design name, and if I click show file name, the file name shows up too. And you can show the total number of sales you received on each design. You see I haven't got any here, 0. And then you can search by different tags or keywords that you give the designs later. But the reason we're here today is to talk about uploading designs to the My Designs section of CafePress. And to do that, all you have to do is click the Add Designs button. And this is CafePress's free version of doing this. The only time you'll ever have to pay monthly charges is when you're using shops to organize or manage your designs. So you can upload as many designs here as you want and it'll be completely free. So then you click the Open File Browser, and this comes up. I've already got it preset for my Geek designs. Select the design you want to upload and click Open, or you can just double click that, either way. And the design uploads here in a few seconds, depending on the size of your file. And there is a file size limit, I believe, of 50 megabytes. So you don't want to go over that, or CafePress will give you a warning saying that it can't upload it. So you have to go and make some edits to your design if that happens. Okay, so we've got the design here, and now you can add 3 things to this design. At this point, you can add a name, which is simply the name of your graphic, tags, which are the keywords or tags that are used to describe your graphic, and then a description, which is a longer text description of the graphic that you're putting on the products. And you can do that either by clicking directly on the name, tags, or description field here, and you'll see the forms that pop up here. Oops. And if for some reason you click outside that, it'll uncheck your graphic. You want to make sure that checkbox here is checked, so you're editing the information for this graphic. Or you can come up here and click on these things directly, and that'll open the form field for you to type that information in. So for this design, I'm going to call it Winged Wee ! And hit save. And that saves the name of your graphic down here. Then I'm going to click description and do a grunge version of the Geek logo with a pair of white wings. So you'll want to be fairly descriptive when you're typing in the description. You're going to want to use the words and phrases in your description that people are going to use to search for this. CafePress primarily uses the tags when it's searching for products, but when the Google search engines and the other search engines come through and crawl the CafePress website, they're going to pick up these descriptions. So you want to put stuff in here to make it more likely that your designs are going to be found in Google and other search engines. And then again, click the Save button. And there is a character limit for this. I'm not sure exactly what it is at the moment, but it's around 150 characters, I believe, 125, 150 characters. So you don't want to get too long-winded here, and you definitely don't want to put things in the description that aren't actually related to your graphic. You know, like we're coming up on Valentine's Day here soon. Just because that's what's selling on CafePress right now, I don't want to add the word Valentine's Day to this description because this design has nothing to do with Valentine's Day. So then we've got the tags, and again, the tags are what CafePress uses for its search engines. When you type something in the search bar up here at the top of the page, these are the tags it's going to be looking for. So again, you want to be descriptive and you want to directly relate these tags to your design. Don't spam this with things that have no relation to your design. So, I can't type today. Exclamation point, exclamation, we geek. And you can put variations of your words in here. Like I have we geek with a space and without a space, depending on how people are going to search for it. And I'll put my other brand name up in here as well. And while we geek is a word that most people are not going to be using to describe their images, I always like to add a special unique tag to my tag list that only I use, or I think I'm going to use, that makes it easier to find all of my products on CafePress later. So if I tag all of my designs with this special tag and I search for it, all of my designs should show up when I do that. So I'll add something short and easy to remember. In this case, I'll put 1WG. So that'll be my unique tag. Nobody else should be using that. I can't think of any reason why anybody else would want to. So I always include that kind of a thing when I do my tagging. And then click Save. And then these are all filled out and you're ready to go. You'll see this Create Products button up here. You want to uncheck that. What that does is lets CafePress know that you do not want them to automatically create some products with your design. The way CafePress chooses these products to put your design on is based on the dimensions of the design, and it's kind of weird and it doesn't always come out the way you would like. So I recommend unchecking this and just adding the products manually later. And then click Save One Design. And after a few seconds, hopefully, now you'll see your design is listed here. And so the next step is to actually add this design to different products. And you can do that by either mousing over the number of products you have down here, and you'll see it changes to Add Products. You can click that, or you can just click on the graphic itself. And you'll see the name, tags, and description or about that you typed in earlier. And you'll see there's no products listed down here at the bottom. Now, something else to be aware of when you're in here is always make sure this button is checked too. This is just saying that you're complying with the CafePress's rules in terms of service, which you should read if you haven't already. And at this point, if you want to make any changes to your name, tags, or description, you can always do that here. Like I'll add wings and distressed because it's kind of a distressed look on the design. And then click Update Design, and you'll see it's been updated. You just close that out. Now to add products to this, click the Add Products button. That slides up a new portion of the page where you can choose rough categories of the types of products you want to add your design to. These are kind of hit and miss as to what's in them. You have to, I would go through and see what's available in each category. You know, clothing obviously is going to be the most important one. It's going to include all the t-shirts and hoodies, and it's going to include baby clothes. We've got underwear in here. There's a diaper bag under clothing for some reason, I don't know. And sometimes it takes a minute for these thumbnails to load. But you can go through and select one of these categories. I'm just going to choose clothing now. And then you can either come through and select each product individually that you want your design added to. And you'll see when you do that, CafePress will create the thumbnail with your image placed properly on the product. Or you can just click Select All, and that'll add your design to every product. And one thing you want to make sure is that all of these are created before you go any further. Scroll down and make sure that all of these thumbnails have been created. Because if you come through and do the next step, create selected products without doing that, sometimes it won't create everything because it hasn't caught up, the system hasn't caught up with you yet. So make sure that your thumbnail's on all the designs or on all the products. And while you're doing that, you can go through and choose products maybe you don't want your design to appear on. So for instance, I know that this baby bib here doesn't work well with regular square images, so I'm just going to uncheck that so that product won't get created now. And the rest of them, I'm just going to leave them and let them all go. So once they're all checked, and I've scrolled down to make sure that all the thumbnails have been created, I click Create Selected Products. And then you come back to your Edit Design page here, and all of those new products have been created. And you can see they're all here because it says 101 products successfully created. And if you look at the clothing category, it's 101 of 102, 101 of 102. And that's because I removed that baby bib. So it created the 101 products that I wanted. If this number doesn't add up to what you thought should be in here, you can always go through and add products again in that category. And the stuff that you may have missed will show up and you can always add them back in. So I'm just going to go back to my page here. Okay, so now I've got all of the products from the clothing category added, and for right now I'm just going to do that. Again, you can go through and look at all these other categories and see what's here. Now if you've gone through and created a product you don't necessarily want to add, like say I don't want the thong with my logo on it, you can mouse over that design and there's an X up here, just click that. That'll delete that product. And you'll see that I also get a Pinterest button showing up here. That's because I have the Pinterest app installed in my browser. So you may or may not see that depending on how your browser is set up. Now the other thing you can do here is edit the size of your graphic on each individual product. For instance, this bag here. That might be a little bit big. It goes up to the edges. Now I know that this bag is actually a full bleed design, which means I could print a pattern to cover the entire face of this. And that might not necessarily work with these square designs. So if I mouse over the product, an edit button shows up. So I can just click that. And that brings up the adjust the design on this product pop-up. There's a couple things you can do here. This is very useful when you're dealing with full bleed designs again, or patterns or something that would fill this entire space. But again, for these square, simple designs that are primarily for apparel, you can make some adjustments still. So this mode here, this fit and fill mode, can get kind of confusing. In fit mode, what that's telling CafePress is that it's supposed to fit your design within the confines of the print area. So for that bag, it's got kind of a rectangular shaped print area. Your square graphic is going to fit within that and not allow you to get any bigger than that. So you'll see you can't increase the size of your design beyond that point. You can shrink it so that it fits, smaller within the center of that design, of that print area, and then bring it back up. But the maximum size you can make it is so that it fits exactly within this print area. Whereas fill does kind of the opposite. If you click fill, my square graphic now fills the entire space and goes and overlaps. So this is the width of my square graphic. Now I can't get it any smaller than the width of the print area, so it won't let me go down any, but I can take it up if I wanted to fill that area all the way up to the maximum size for this particular product where it's going to look good. CafePress has some built-in limits depending on the type of product and the size of your graphic as to how big or how small you can make them. So that's not going to work on this bag. I'm going to go back to fit, and it was a little too close to the edges when I saw it, so I'm going to shrink this down a little bit and then click the save button. Actually, before I click save, I want to point this out too. If you're doing this on a black t-shirt or a black item, click that and then you can see with the black background. That's great for if you have a design that's all white text or all white graphics. This way you can see how big and small it's going to be. Put that back. And then transparent is also a nice way to see if your design is going to show up properly. And again, I always work with transparent PNGs for my graphics. If you want to learn more about that, check out the graphics recommendations video in this playlist. So we'll just take that back to white. I've got my size scaled down a little bit, and then click the save button. And you'll see your product was successfully saved up here, this little yellow pop-up. And then you just close this box. And now you see it's a little bit smaller, there's a little more white space around there. So I like that better. Everything else I'm going to leave the same, and now this is ready to go. So I just click my back button here. Takes me back to this page, shows the number of products that I have created for that design. And once the design goes through the CafePress content usage policy approval process, it'll be live and ready to sell to your customers. And one way to find out if that's happened is if you click on the design, you're back in your product section here. If you mouse over one of the products, don't click the edit button, but click the product itself. And that'll take you to the page on CafePress in the marketplace where your design is going to appear. And you'll see underneath the large image of the design, there's a note here. design not reviewed by CafePress. And then there's a little disclaimer paragraph here talking about any orders that are placed using this design are subject to cancellation if for some reason CafePress disallows the image, if you violated some copyright laws or something. You can see this is what your design is going to look like here on this product. Here's the name you typed in, the name of the design, and the name is added here to the front of the product, which is women's plus size t-shirt, but because that's such a long name, it gets cut off. That happens a lot with CafePress. Some of their products have very long names. I think this is women's plus size dark t-shirt, so if you have a long name for your design, that stuff's going to get cut off because they only show so many characters up here. And then if you scroll down, under About This Design, you'll see your logo, your profile name here, the design name again, the winged we exclamation point, and then the description that you typed. And this is the stuff that Google and the other search engines will pick up when it crawls these pages and adds it to its database. So again, you want to make sure you've got a good description here. So now we can come back to my designs. So this is a nice way to add one design at a time to the My Designs section and get them visible on the CafePress Marketplace. Now you can also use this to upload a bunch of designs at the same time. Again, click Add Designs, open your file browser, and you'll see I've got these 5 exclamation points from my logo in just different colors. And I can select all of them in my file browser and click Open, and it loads up every one of them. And then here's where the checkboxes come in handy. You can uncheck or check certain ones of these. I like to, when I'm doing designs like this that are very similar with maybe some slight variations either in color, or if I have a bunch of text designs where only one word changes, this is a nice way to get them all uploaded and kind of bulk edit them. So for instance, I want to do all of these exclamation points with a very similar name. All I want to do is change the color in the title. So I'll click Name here with all of them checked and do black we exclamation point and click Save. Now all of them have the same name, but I can click individual titles down here. That'll select just this one. It automatically unchecks all the others, and I can come here and type cyan and save. And then the same with this magenta one. And then instead of clicking save, I can just hit enter and it does the same thing. So it's very easy to come through here and edit these in bulk. So now I've got all 5 done with a unique name, but it was pretty quick to do. And you can do the same thing with the tags and the description. Just click all, description, the we exclamation point in black, save, and then come to the cyan one, magenta, white, and yellow. So the descriptions are all done. Click all again, edit tags, add my unique tag that I always add, add my brand, exclamation point, bold, it's a bold graphic. Trying to think of other terms that people might use to search for things like this. Punctuation. And then this time I'm going to do it a little differently. I'm not going to add the one keyword and change it. I'm just going to click save. And then when I click on the tags, I can just type comma black, enter, comma cyan, enter. Because when you do this, it puts the cursor at the end of the line, making it easy to do this. And as you do this a few more times, it'll become second nature almost, editing all of these things. So there you go. I've got my tags, descriptions, and names all done. Check all to make sure I'm going to save all of them, because if for some reason I leave one unchecked and click save, it's not going to save this yellow one now. So make sure all of them are checked. I make sure to uncheck Create Products and then save all 5 designs. And here you go. They're all saved up in the My Designs section. Now all I have to do is add products to it. And really quick, go in here, pick my clothing. Oops, add products first. But since I've already selected clothing, it comes up. So you can do that either way. Either click or add products and then click clothing, or click clothing, then click add products. Either way, you come up to the same page. Now this is my black exclamation point. It's going to look great on the white t-shirts. Not so much on the black t-shirts. But a lot of these also have like navy blue and dark red and other colors. So you may still want to put those on the dark shirts, even though on black it's not going to show up very well. It will get printed on the black. It will be like a black tone on tone. And there are some designs where that looks really cool. So it might be worth it, again, to put black designs on the black shirts. So for now, I'm just going to do this just to show you this stuff. Click Create Selected Products. So there's the black design on a white t-shirt, black design on a black t-shirt. Then I'm going to go back and do the same thing with the white. Now the difference with the white is white will get printed on the dark products. Looks great on a black t-shirt. White ink is never printed on one of these light garments. Not even, say, this light blue one. This is still considered a light product in CafePress, and white does not get printed. This would be like putting a piece of blue paper through your inkjet printer at home. It doesn't print white ink. The only products that CafePress will print the white ink on is the dark products. These dark t-shirts, the baby onesie here, these pajamas. I think the girls' tees aren't labeled dark, but I believe this is the dark one. You'll see, you can tell because when you check the t-shirts, you'll see the graphic show up here. If it's not going to be printed, the white won't show up on that design. Let's see, there's these black shirts. I believe this is a dark shirt. The pink shows up, or the white shows up on the pink. Whereas this pink is a light garment, so it's not going to show up. This is a dark garment here. This is a light garment, so it's not going to show up, so I don't want to create that one actually. So you'll see you have to kind of be picky and choosy when you're doing white graphics as to which ones you want to add to. And I can come through and check all these because I know after the years of experience doing this which ones are actually light garments and which ones are dark garments. And I wish CafePress had a way to do this. It might be possible with managed product sets, but we'll talk about that in another video. So I'm going to go through, check all my dark things here. Whoops, and I just unchecked everything. That's something to be careful with. These are little bitty checkboxes. If I come through and I check a whole bunch of stuff spread out all over the site, then accidentally click outside the checkbox, it's going to undo all those checks. One way you can avoid that is by holding down the Control key on the PC or the Command key on the Mac and then clicking the products, just avoiding the checkboxes altogether. So if I come through and hold my Control key down and just start clicking products, it all works. If I do that without holding the Control key, it only picks the one product. So this is typical Windows behavior. So for now, I'm just going to come up here and check this one shirt just to have something, create the selected products, and there's my exclamation point on the black t-shirt. I'll go back to my designs. Now I'm going to add all the rest of these products off camera, so you don't have to sit through watching me do that. But for now, that's it. Now you can upload as many designs as you want to the My Designs section of the CafePress page, and usually within a couple days, the content usage people will approve your designs and they'll be available for sale on the CafePress marketplace. So if you found this video helpful, please click that thumbs up button, give me a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe, and we'll be having more CafePress videos coming up here in the future. And if there's anything specific you want me to cover, any questions about CafePress or working with the designs in here, please leave those in the comments below, and I will be happy to answer them for you. So thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, what's your we?